Change is the only thing that's constant, right? I got a tattoo this year that says things change, you know, they do. I could have just made this whole video 1 second and just said things change, and that's the whole video that I learned this year apparently. Anyways, hi, I'm Lily. I don't do YouTube videos anymore, but I decided that I was going to do a video every year for my birthday of the things that I learned that year. Here we are, 25 things I learned this past year. I have learned a lot. It's been a very transformational year for me. I'm very excited to bring you guys along on this. Also, sorry if I repeat things from the last videos. That just is what it is. Don't watch the old ones, which to me, it's like, if I don't even watch it, then why is anybody else watching it? Doesn't matter. We're just gonna go for it because it's fun to look back on in the future. I feel like these are so deep, but like for no reason. So my first thing is that hating your body is never the solution to the problem. So I have for a long time not had a good relationship with my body. I've always felt like I needed to be smaller, things like that. And over the past year, I've been really diving into like the body confidence community on Instagram and talking about how like size doesn't matter and really it's important about loving your body wherever it's at. Number 2 goes along with that gaining weight is okay. The fluctuations in weight happen over time and that's totally fine. Just buy new clothes, go to a thrift shop with a friend. I know that it can seem intimidating and like upsetting or like you're giving up in some type of way, but that's not true. Literally, wearing clothes that fit your body is way more flattering than wearing clothes that you think you should fit into, okay? Let's just all go into 2022 believing that, okay, please? Number 3, I learned in this book called The Defining Decade that my friend gave me, and honestly, it was a really good read, but it also kind of messed me up a little bit, not gonna lie. And so anyways, she talks about this idea that people think that they have so many different options of what they can do with their life. They get overwhelmed, which is what I do all the time. They get overwhelmed. They're like, there's so many different things. How can I even pick one? But really with our experience, our skills, what we're actually good at, there's really only a few options that really logically make sense for us. So kind of narrowing that down and figuring it out and making it so there's less options is actually easier to make a choice. So I really learned that. I think that's really important for people to know. So welcome. Number 4, to let go of control, which I still like to hold on to, but I realize that letting go of control of what I'm going to do with my life, what I'm going to do with my day even, is really brought me into this place of like really experiencing life to the fullest and trying to be happy with where I'm at. And you can't control things. 5, okay, this has the same idea. Things will work out how they're supposed to. I was supposed to go to Mexico this year, and then instead I ended up going to Arizona, living with these lovely old people for a few weeks and practicing Spanish with them. I was supposed to go to Spain in January, and now I'm planning to stay in Florida for longer because I randomly got the opportunity to live here, and I love it. Things will change and plans will change, but that's okay. I learned that I need to just go with what feels right in the moment, and that's what I've been doing. Number 6, meeting new people is actually not as hard as it seems. You kind of just have to be interested in them and they'll be interested in you. Kava, I learned about kava this year. I don't know if you guys ever had it. It's like this tea thing, but it kind of chills you out, but it doesn't make you feel like high or intoxicated or anything like that. I really like it. You know me, my anxiety. I probably should be drinking more of it. So check it out if you don't know about it. Number 8, I learned that checklists really rock. They really help me get things done and feel productive throughout my day because sometimes my little short-term memory won't remember that, oh, I worked out 2 days ago, instead of like feeling bad, like, oh, I never work out. It was 2 days ago. I have a check mark on my checklist that tells me when it was. So I think that if you struggle with things like that or struggle with getting things done, making a checklist of what you want to get done and goals you want to accomplish each day is very helpful if your brain is like mine. I don't know if it's helpful for everybody, but for sure it works for me. This whole video, I feel like I'm like coming at myself from this whole year. And number 9 says, doing nothing with no plan is not a good idea. Which is basically what I did for the beginning of this whole year. I literally had no plan of what I was gonna do and I wasn't trying to think of a plan for what I do. So obviously I didn't get anywhere. Number 10 is just plans or things change. Literally, that is like what I said for the past 10 things. Number 11 for my 11th birthday. No, not my 11 for my birthday on the 11th is that I love rollerblading. It just goes to show that you should do things that bring you joy. If there's something as a kid that made you really happy and you don't do it anymore, try doing it sometime. And I think you'll really like improve your quality of life. Number 12, find the patterns in your life and you'll really find how to change your life. So I've had these patterns in the past of like certain ways of dating or certain things that I've done in my past that I have patterns of doing over and over again. And until I recognized that there was a pattern and decided to stop that pattern, it was just gonna keep happening until you decide to make a change. Number 13, TikTok is just amazing. Number 14 is just goals can change. Literally, my entire thing is just this tattoo. It's just like things change. Number 15, invest in things that matter to you. So for my example, I invested in a good pair of rollerblades. For the past few years, I'm like, I'm gonna get rollerblades from Play It Again Sports, and I always get them and they always suck and they hurt my feet and I never end up actually rollerblading. So I actually just bought new rollerblades this time and I've rollerbladed so much in them and I love it so much. So really invest in things that are important to you. Maybe start with something small, like if you really like toast, get a toaster and eat toast every day. You know what I mean? Just like invest in something that is important to you with what you can. Next, I decided that I need to stop worrying about what other people's opinions of me were. That's like way easier said than done, especially for like a recovering people pleaser like myself. But literally once I decided that other people's opinions of me like doesn't really matter, my life has like drastically improved. So it's something that is a work in progress, and I think it always will be, but I definitely think that trying to live your life based on other people's standards of what success looks like or what happiness should look like is never going to be good enough for you. These two go hand in hand. So I have been hanging out with old people a lot this year. I have taken care of my grandma for the last year. She is 92, but I've been getting to know about her life and it's been a really great experience. So I asked her what her favorite moment in her life was. And she said that it was when she was walking down the aisle towards my grandpa on their wedding day. She said, I saw the love in his eyes and I never felt so great in my entire life, basically. And I just think that's so sweet. And I think that it's so sweet that it's a memory that has to do with the people who matter most to her. So then the next one, I was talking to these people who I'm living with now, also old people. I was talking to the wife and she has this disease that's gonna keep getting worse and worse as she ages. And basically her husband turns to her and he says, we have been nothing but blessed in this entire life. We have had 60 years together. We've had a great kid, great grandkids, and even a great grandkid. I am so thankful for everything we've experienced together. What more could we ask for? And I just think that's a beautiful message because the entire time he didn't mention anything about like what they had, how much money they made, anything like that, anything that we feel like we need to worry about. It's really about the connections you make with other people. And I feel like that's a really impactful thing. Next, I learned that Tinder is a nightmare. And I know that there's like a whole literal Instagram account like called Tinder Nightmares or something, but like just talking to people on Tinder is so just horrible. But some people do meet the love of their life on Tinder, so I guess I can't really talk trash about it, but I don't know. I don't know if I would. Okay, so this is something that I learned on TikTok this year, and honestly now I'm thinking it might not be the best idea, but for a while it really worked for me. So over the summer, I changed my Hinge profile. You can do prompts. One of the prompts says, the best way to ask me out. And so this girl on TikTok said, you just say like, name the time and place, let's skip the small talk and go out. And I was like, that's a great idea because I hate small talking, like texting. I'm really bad at texting back, so it's really a me thing. But I wrote that down and I got like 8 dates over the summer. I went on 8 dates in like 2 weeks. That was not a good idea. That was also something I learned, that you should probably chill, like not go so fast, but it works. And so then when I moved to Florida, I was like going on dates, but I didn't really like that idea as much because the people who I went out with who were just like, let's go out, I didn't really like him that much. But the person who I talked to a little bit before the date and then he asked me out, I kind of liked him more. And I think it's because I kind of got to know him. But if you really just want to go on a bunch of dates, that's a great way to do it. So do with that what you will, I suppose. This is a big thing that I learned this year, which obviously everybody knows, but honesty is the best policy. Even if you think you're doing the right thing by omitting the truth or not being honest, most of the time, I'm gonna say 9 times out of 10, just be honest. It really will save you a lot of heartbreak and hard times. You can want something to be a certain way and sometimes it's not going to be that way. This year I learned what a dry heat means. You know how when you go to Arizona, or if like you're on the way to Arizona, people are like, oh, it's a dry heat. And I never knew what that meant, but I went to Arizona and I loved it. It was so not humid. Every experience is important to where you are today. I would not be the same person I am today if I hadn't had all the experiences from my past. Even if they're good or bad, it doesn't matter. They bring you to where you are. So you need to be thankful for them. You don't need to be. I'm not telling you what to do. I need to be thankful for them. I think I've also been doing these wrongs because last year I made 24 things I learned in 24 years, but I was turning 24. So I don't know if that's how the math works. No, wait. So when you turn 25, I guess you've been on this earth for 25 years. So I guess it would be 25 things. So maybe I am doing it right. I don't know, whatever. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope that you have an amazing day today. I hope that you wish me a happy birthday if you know me, because you know it's my favorite holiday. I really would like to end this video now.